All right. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the GrillingStoreTV.com. We bring you all your hearth and patio needs right here on the network on the Grill and Store TV every Tuesday night at 6:30. My name is Chris Davis, and
I'm Mike Davis, and welcome to the show.
All right. Last week, if you remembered and followed us, we appreciate every support and view on the Grill and Store TV. If you remember, we talked about the Yeti coolers and how nice of a cooler and just kind of cooling it down last week. Well, this week we're going to be turning the heat up, talking about some smoking chips, some pellets and chunks, and all kinds of fun stuff with the GrillingStoreTV.com. So you want to fill them in on a few items there?
Yeah, Chris, I will. We're going to kind of compare what chips do versus pellets versus chunks, a little bit how to use each and every one of them, just kind of give you just some ways to enhance your grilling techniques out there on the grill. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's first start off, Chris. Let's start off with pellets. If you'll explain to the folks what a pellet is.
Some people might not even know what a pellet is. It basically looks like little rabbit turds or rabbit food or whatever. I mean, I don't know. They're just little
rabbit food, folks.
They're little bitty pellets is what they are. And they're just 10,000 pound compressed wood. It's basically sawdust that's been compressed with a 10,000 pound press.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. They just take the sawdust and put it in there and put this press on it and then press it into these molds and then break them all up.
Yeah, they come into actually, if you can see, I don't know if you guys can see this. They're little sticks basically. So they look like they come in these long tubes and then they're in a shaker if I remember correctly, and then they just break into little pieces. The good thing about them being compressed like that is they're very efficient and they don't leave a lot of dust if they are the proper pellet brand, which obviously we are going to carry the proper pellet brand. Barbecuer's Delight is the brand we carry. There's several ways to smoke with pellets. If you've got a pellet grill, many of you might have a pellet grill that has a hopper on the side. It's got a little auger that feeds it into a hot cup and it burns the pellets up. If you've got a gas grill, you can absolutely use pellets when doing that. You can use a little smoke tube that we sell right here at the Grill and Store, or you can simply have, if you've got a standard like smoke box, like a cast iron box, similar to this, you can just spread your pellets in there. Anything to basically capture the smoke down near the heat so that it just smolders and gives you that enhanced flavor.
Yeah, and pellets, one of the things he's talking about the flavor. We talk about the flavor of trying to flavor our meat with different woods. Pellets come in lots of different flavors. They come in apple, they come in hickory, mesquite. I got to kind of look over and see what all flavors we have. Sugar maple. Yeah. I even think there's peach, pecan. And what makes pellets work so well is they're 2/3 oak, 1/3 of the sweet wood mixed in with them. So when they're compressing them, it's oak to have the slow burn, to smolder. All you want them to do is to smolder when they're sitting there in the grill or in the smoking tube like you were talking about.
Another side note about the pellets, you don't have to soak these. You actually don't want to smoke these because they will swell up. Yeah, I mean, they're made to smolder just the way they are. You don't have to prepare them. It's a very easy way, especially for like a beginner smoker.
Oh, yeah.
You can buy a bag of pellets, and we sell a 20-pound bag of pellets, and you just, it lasts a long time doing that route. It's a very efficient way to do it. About
a cup at the time, like you were saying. Just take a cup, pour it into a smoking tube, and you're ready to roll. Real easy to go with. The chips, on the other hand, a lot of people are familiar with the chips. And Chris, we sell all kinds of chips here, don't we? We got
just to give you an idea, we've got some apple chips, cherry chips, pecan. So there's different flavors of the chips as well as the pellets. There's a little more variety with the pellets than there are with the chips.
Chips are going to burn up a little bit faster, and we would probably use chips if we were doing steaks, thin cut pork chops, maybe some chicken wings or something like that. That's what we would typically use chips with.
Something that you're going to grab the meat really quick.
Yeah, pretty quick.
The smoke's just got to grab it and go really quickly with it.
Yep, exactly. Now your chunks, we also have a bag of chunks over here.
You can tell the chunks are quite a bit larger. I mean, they're about the size of your palm versus the size of your fingertip. I mean, it's just The chunks are really designed for like your charcoal grillers, or you know, mixing it in with the charcoal, the lump charcoal, like we do with the Big Green Egg, and people do with other types of smokers. It really, you know, takes a while for it to burn up those chunks.
The good thing about using the chunks, like Chris was saying, using them with a smoker, and they make different types of smokers. You have offset smoker, where you have a hot box here, and then you have the smoking box down here, and the smoke travels through the offset smoker. Then you have a smoking vault. So some of you guys that are watching this may have a vault. It's just a square vault that may have an electric element in it. Maybe electric, or it could be gas fired, or it could be charcoal fired. That the chunk would sit there on the pan, and the heat penetrates through that chunk and creates the smoke. And then you have a wet pan above that that you can pour either wine, water, cider, whatever into it. And then that smoke just travels on up through the vault and out the top. Offset smoker, it does the same thing like that, right out through the top. You can do the same thing with a grill, but when you're using a gas grill, typically speaking, you're grilling. You're not really smoking for a long period of time, even though you can indirect cook, put the pellets on one side, put the chips on one side. You could use a chunk, put it in something on one side, and then get the conventional cooking going like that right there.
What would be, just to give our viewers an idea, what would be a reason for soaking? I know we talked about it briefly. What would be the best application for soaking? Is it for going with long periods of smoke and just to add time, or is there an actual purpose and better enhanced flavor to smoking?
Absolutely, both of those that Chris mentioned. You want to slow it down a little bit. You can soak them. You can soak them in water. You can soak them in juice. You could take apple chips and soak them in apple juice. You can soak them in a lot of different things, and that will actually slow it down and create a smoldering effect. If you remember, we talked about pellets smoldering. The same thing with the chips. You want them to slow it down and smolder, and that's the reason that you would soak them. And also, it enhances as it's smoldering, that wet smoke that you get with like the vault smoker or the offset smoker. You can do the same with your grill to a certain extent by having a wet chip and it's starting to dry out. It vaporizes, starts smoldering, and that wet smoke goes into the food. And that's the way that the chip works. Something else you might want to mention too, Chris, is the charcoal. The charcoal that we sell here, obviously, as we've talked about before, we're a Big Green Egg dealer, but we use an all organic charred wood. Since we've been talking about wood,
it's a real piece of wood that has actually been charred. So that's where it's the name charcoal. I mean, it is a actual piece of wood. So it's not just a briquette that's been formed and molded with chemicals and all kinds of who knows what
filler, all kinds of filler
that you're heating your food up and ingesting. Yeah. This is 100% natural wood chunk that you're actually using to smoke your meat with or grill your meat with. So using the natural chunks are, they burn hotter. Yep. They're gonna cause less ash, and it just tastes better. I mean, in all honesty, you get the better enhanced flavor with going with natural. So
the good thing about too, in using the different, whether using pellets or using chips or using chunks, or if you have a charcoal cooker and using organic charcoal, is it does enhance your flavor. It takes your grilling level up. It kicks it up a notch. It goes all the way up. You can be a professional griller right there on your back deck cooking with wood, and it's real easy. A lot of people are intimidated by it. They back off from it a little bit. But Chris, as you've talked with the customers in here before, you've taken people that's never done it before and made professionals out of them.
You can make them look like a professional on their back deck just with a few tips and recipes and whatnot. But since we're rolling into recipes, just really quick before we close up here, what would be the best off the top of your head recipe for a first time smoker going with, whether it be a Boston Bud or a pork loin, or what would be a quick recipe that they could try at home?
We're gonna do chicken. Let's just talk about chicken. We all love chicken. It's easy to do. You know how to cook chicken on your grill. One of the things you want to do is not dry it out. So if you slow it down, you're gonna slow the cooking down so the smoke has a chance to get into the meat. Then you'll actually see that you have a moisture chicken that you pull off of the grill. And it's a learning curve. But if you use either hickory, apple, or sugar maple, or cherry, some of the fruit woods with poultry. And this is with chicken or with turkey, either one, with poultry. But if you use the apple, real easy, put the apple chips, like we have here. We've got apple chips in a cast iron smoking box. It's got a lid that goes on the top. Put the chicken, rub it down with some of the great rubs that we have here. Put this on the left side of the grill, light the right side of the grill, and put the chicken over there, and let this smoke when the heat's coming up under it. Let it heat it up and start smoking through the chicken. And it's only going to smoke during the first half of cooking. Juices are being drawn in. And you notice when you're cooking a hamburger or you're cooking something a lot of times, juices are drawn in. At about halfway done, you start seeing juices start extracting back out. Well, it's not drawing smoke in anymore at that point. So you're okay. You don't have to worry about reloading and doing a whole chicken on the grill. Yeah, you talk about an hour on the grill, easy to do. Load up the box one time, put it on there, let it smoke, and I promise you, you'll be sending us an email. You'll be sending something on Facebook. You'll be calling Chris Davis. You'll be saying, man, I can't believe how good that bird was.
All right. So that kind of wraps it up. What I want to do is to take that recipe right there. If you decide to go with it, try the smoke and post a picture on our Facebook page. We're going to give you a gift. I don't know. What do you want to give them?
I don't know. How about come in and how are you going to determine which one we're going to give it to?
If you come in and if you post a picture to our Facebook page, we're going to pick which is the prettiest bird on that grill, and we're going to pick out somebody to get a lucky gift here.
And we'll give you a bag of smoking chips.
That sounds like a plan.
Yep.
So
Yep.
go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Grilling Store. You can check us out on thegrillingstoretv.com every Tuesday at 6:30. And my name's Chris Davis. This is Mike Davis, and we're with The Grilling Store. Thanks.
Thank you.